All right, guys, I'm doing how to train puppy, and then I'm actually going to go out there and train. I've got the puppy here from Ridgeview from Donna, so I'm actually going to go out there and train the puppy. I'm going to talk about it first. So, anyway, hang on. All right, guys, special New Year's edition with my librarian look. This is what in Hollywood, if you have a ponytail and glasses with brown hair, you're a librarian. You're homely. But I'm actually going to go out here and train. Um, I'm actually going to go out here and train this puppy, but I want to just do it as the drawing first because I just don't feel like anybody understands. Like 27 people understand. That's it. So this is what I want you guys to think of. You know, if we've got a little puppy. You know, and just on the average, say this puppy weighs 15 pounds. All right, so, you know, and then we say, well, how much does the average human weigh? At the very least 100, you know, at least usually like 150. So you have to think of it if it was you. What is your relationship with something 15 times bigger than you? You know what I mean? How easy would it be to become guarded in a relationship with something that was 15 times bigger than you? That seemed to be coming at you. And I'm just going to tell you where people go wrong. All right, there's the person. And what they do is create this little microcosm right around the dog. And what they immediately do is start giving the dog exit strategies, because they're focusing right there on the dog. There's no place else to go. It's just this little microcosm with them barking orders and touching the dog. You know, it's just going to make the dog go away. And Alice, I don't know if you're watching, but that video with that puppy bear, if that's a disaster in about 2 or 3 weeks, you've got to help those people because all they were doing was scratching its ears and then very meanly saying, "Bear, sit." They're going to try to get away from it. Yeah, you've got to just understand that. Okay, if a microcosm is bad, then we better create the opposite of that. You know, and the only way to do that is for you to move around. Puppies have only a certain distance they're going to go away. You have to monopolize on that. You have to exploit that. They're not going to just take off like a 3-year-old dog is. All you've got to do is go the opposite way. So if the opposite of a microcosm is, you know, if you wonder why my dogs act, and I wonder myself, this is the things I've figured out, you know, why these dogs act with so much motion in free agency is I think it's kind of like a horse, you know, in a round pen. You know, they know they can run around freely as long as they're within the confines of that, you know, thing. But if you haven't made, you know, this boundary, and it exists in every dog. People just aren't exploiting it. Again, we're not talking about something that doesn't exist. They're going to follow you, but not if you're coming at them all the time. There isn't there. You know, that's just forces of nature. If you're coming at it, it's the only way to go is away. If you're going away, the only way to go is after you. You know, so what you don't want to do is create this little itty bitty world where you're barking orders and scratching their ears. I mean, it's painful. It's painful. You've got to create a great big world and then fill in all the blanks. You mean if you said draw an outline? If your outline is coming right at the dog, the only thing you're doing is saying to the dog, figure out ways to get out of here, not figure out ways to come after me. You know, you need to exploit that. And once you haven't, I mean, I'm saying if you've got a dog that's 2 years old and doesn't do anything, that's you. That's you. If you've got a 2 to 3 year old dog that has all these bad behaviors, that's you. You know, when you ask people, well, how long have you had it since it was a puppy? That's you. It's you. You know, any dog is going to have normal behavior. So it's going to be normal for them to follow you. And any dog is going to have a fight or flight type of situation. That's why they start going at the people. They're either going at them or running away. This is because the people have developed that in them. So I'm getting ready to go out here with little Casper and Christy. I don't know if you're watching. It's probably too early there, and they're probably like, why does this woman just make up any reason to go live? I'm sure one day psychiatrists will look back and say the reason this woman uploaded so much content was she had, got this condition or whatever, It was like the YouTube effect. Once you started doing it, you just couldn't get enough. I'm sure that's what they're going to figure out. Anyway, I'm going to go out there and you guys are going to see. You're just, I want you to think of it if it was you. Somebody's right up on you telling you what to do. Whether you're saying it or not, you're thinking to yourself, was my life better when that wasn't right there? Yeah. Here's an idea. I'll get away from that, you know. And there is such a thing. I mean, there's a lot of mean men. And if you said, what in your experience, how do American men discipline dogs? In my opinion, they beat them. I can only imagine what they do in second and third world countries. And if there's a woman out there that says, I don't know a man that doesn't beat the dog, they do. And I mean, a lot of women tell me my husband beat the dog when it ran away and stuff. And I mean, you can't just sit there and judge them. I mean, their father and their father's father probably did that, but it doesn't work. Your job is to kind of help explain that it doesn't work. But I mean, a lot of these people do. That's how they try to train them. So, and it does work sometimes. There are some dogs that are then going to say, I don't know what the problem was, but I got to keep an eye on this guy. And any looking pissed off, I'll go dive under the table. It's kind of like that bulldog of mine because it was so dog aggressive. I always got the nick every time it started fighting. Now if it sees a fight, it hides under the table. All right, guys, I'll be right back with a little puppy Casper and kind of show you that. But, that's what you've got to think of. If you said, I'm the type of person that cannot stop myself from randomly touching people, animals, expensive antiques, things at stores where there's a sign that says don't touch, you're going to be in trouble when it comes to training dogs. I realize that now. I realize now that's why they have to have all these signs that say don't touch the merchandise and everything else. It's just, if humans didn't do that, I guess they're just hardwired to do that, and if you really, and if you said, well, I can't do that, it's too hard, then I said, well, then you're just going to fail. I mean, and that's fine as long as you understand you're a complete failure because you have no self-control. I mean, that's just, that's what you've got to think to yourself. Believe me, remember I used to want Shoe Bottom to give me kisses all the time. She wouldn't do it. She'd actually snub me right on camera. Now she's all over me, but, you've got to just think of it in the behavior sense. And I understand that people can't stop themselves from touching the dog. And they also want to elicit responses from the dog. So they do various things, to elicit a response. They just, it's like the dog that jumps all over the person when they first see them. What that person is actually doing is saying, I don't want animation. That's why these dogs aren't animated later when the people are working them. They're saying, I don't want animation. So they're kind of fighting them off when they're jumping on them and stuff. It's not working because they just continue to do it. The dog's just going like that. They're just going like that. But, the dog can see, they're not saying yay and all that. They're just, get off me, which you could blame them. But, then later the dog is just completely flat because this dog is saying to itself, I don't like any kind of animation. And I'm not into it right now anyway, so let's just go flat. Anyway, I'll be right back. I'm going to go get this little puppy. Hi, Lanny. Are you stuck at the daycare, girl? Are you there babysitting all the dogs? Well, although I got a few of those here too. Well, the pet parents went to parties. I encourage it. They shouldn't have the pets at their house when the pet parents are having parties. Angie Marie will tell you, because I think that was last year. Angie Marie still had Maverick, and he ate out of his kennel crate. So Angie Marie's solution was don't put them in a crate anymore, not realizing that this was the beginning of the end. Once you've conceded to, okay, you won that battle. There isn't any, you're just emboldening them. Every battle you let them win, they become emboldened. Why wouldn't they? You have to just tell people, I didn't invent the dog. I did not invent the dog. I only understand if you do certain things, your life will be easier. You know, well, people say, again, oh, it's going to be hard to control the kids around a puppy. Well, but this will be a good life skill. It's going to be hard to pay a mortgage when they're older too. But if they've learned, that everything isn't always the way we want it to be, that will be better. I think I learned the hard way. I was in 4-H when I was a kid. If you ask my parents, that's how I became a dog trainer. That was in South Dakota. They didn't have anything else to do. Anyway, guys, I'm running out there with little Casper, so stay tuned, and hopefully everything I said I will put into action, and you will see that I'm not just making this stuff up. I don't just make this stuff up. Bye, guys. Bye, Tim.